I'm sure a lot of us can agree that college is a time for experimentation. It's a point in your life where you want to try new things. And for some people, that means traveling, maybe finally going skydiving. But for other people, it might mean trying bad things like cocaine. According to the Dawn survey that's conducted by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, cocaine is responsible for more visits to the emergency room than any other illegal drug. So I've taken a couple of different classes on substance abuse, as well as psychology classes. Cocaine is the one thing that's really stuck out to me as being interesting. Along with that, I encounter a lot of cocaine-related deaths at my job with the Department of Public Health. It's always really amazing to me to see that it affects all walks of life. It's not just college students, but young kids, teenagers, and even adults that die because of cocaine. Cocaine is a highly dangerous drug, and it can have a serious negative impact on a person's life. So what I'd like to talk about today are the forms of cocaine, different ways that it can be used, as well as the effects that it can have on a person's body. The first form of cocaine is cocaine hydrochloride. On the street, it's more commonly known as powder, or you might hear it called coke or blow. The second form of cocaine is crack cocaine, and it's called crack because when it's smoked, it makes a crackling noise. You might also hear it called rock or kibbles and bits. Now there are 3 different ways that you can take cocaine. It can be snorted, injected, or even smoked. Snorting is the most common way. It's done by rolling up a dollar bill, or if you can afford 100, maybe 100, and you plug your nose with one nostril, or plug one nostril, and then snort it up through the bill. And this is the least intense way of taking cocaine. The reason being is because the cocaine takes a long time to absorb through your mucous membrane in your nose. So because of that, the high or the rush that you experience lasts longer, about 15 to 30 minutes, than other methods. Another way of taking it is through injection or intravenous injection. And that's when the powder is actually dissolved and broken down into a liquid. So it's usually done in a spoon. They'll take cocaine in its powder form, and they'll mix it with water and baking soda, and they'll heat it up in the spoon, and the baking powder or baking soda and the water combine together, and it leaves just a liquid substance for the cocaine. So that's put into a syringe and injected straight into the bloodstream. And since it's injected right in, you feel the effects a lot faster because it goes right into your bloodstream. But although it's felt faster, you get a shorter rush. It only lasts for about 5 to 10 minutes. A third way is smoking crack cocaine. This is the absolutely most addictive way to take cocaine. It's also the most intense, and that's because when the smoke is inhaled through your lungs, it goes right to your brain. You can feel the effects within 5 to 7 seconds of smoking crack. So it's very, very addictive. And like intravenous, it only lasts about 5 to 10 minutes. So let's go into some of the effects that cocaine can have. First is euphoria, which is an intense feeling of happiness or pleasure. And this is because cocaine has an effect on the dopamine receptors in your brain. So that's a neurotransmitter that helps to regulate the amount of pleasure that you experience. So all of the dopamine receptors are all kind of bundled together, and instead of releasing slowly when your brain's not on cocaine, it goes all at once, and it just gives you that big, big sense of euphoria. A second effect of cocaine is heart attack. Coke speeds up your heart like crazy. According to an article called Cocaine Abuse and Addiction that was published in the Harvard Mental Health Letter, a person's 24 times more likely to have a heart attack after using cocaine. 24 times. And that's not just people who are predisposed to heart problems. That could be an athlete in tip-top shape who's got the best ticker you've ever seen. 24 times more likely to have a heart attack when you're using cocaine. Another effect are hallucinations or formication. In a book entitled Drugs, Society, and Criminal Justice, written by Charles Leventhal, he describes formication as basically a hallucination or sensation that there are bugs or snakes crawling all over your skin or even underneath your skin. And so when you see people really scratching or going crazy, it's because they're hallucinating and they think there's bugs all over you. And so in extreme cases, you might see people who actually have open sores from scratching so hard, or even a more extreme hallucination, people will actually try and burn the bugs out of their body or try and gouge them out with something sharp like a knife. So not real fun. One of the last effects I'll talk about today are mood swings, and those happen because you're going from such a high sense of euphoria and you're so happy and nothing can bring you down, and since it only lasts at the most about 30 minutes, you go from such an extreme high way down to an extreme low, and that makes people upset. They want to keep having the same great sensations that they had when they started. So when you see people taking another line of Coke and another line and another line, it's because they want to keep that good feeling going. So now that you can recognize the different forms of cocaine and the different methods of taking it, as well as know some of the effects, if you're ever confronted, maybe at a college party or any other point, and you have the opportunity to take cocaine, maybe take a second look and stop, remember all of the side effects that it can have and the dangers that it can cause to your life.